Traders, stop overcomplicating this and let the market reveal its hand. Guys, one of our trades is just a few dollars away from its profit objective. And Bitcoin is sitting inside a weekly bullish order block that could decide the next few months of this market. But you have to let it reveal its hand. Here's what most people are not seeing. There is massive liquidity sitting below price. Massive. Which means what looks like support just might be bait. Retail traders are really starting to feel uncomfortable. Some are just banging it out. Some are blindly buying this support. And some just have no idea what to do. And markets love liquidity. So the real question you should be asking is, do we bounce from here? Or do we pull back into the key support around the $54,000 area, consume everything, and then rise? Because whichever happens, this move will not be small. Let's go! So, in this video, I will show you why Bitcoin is coming back into the weekly bullish order block, the major support at the $54,000 area, the why I think liquidity below gets consumed. Okay, also, we're going to talk about the 2021 versus the 2025 structure comparison, why Ethereum was closed out early, why Solana is still active, and the Morpho trade that we're stalking. Now, people, I don't want to hear that you're missing these trades when you don't watch the full video. Watch the full video because in it, we're going to have those Morpho details, okay? And if you like structured analysis, make sure you subscribe to the channel. All you have to do is press this button here and you're subscribed. And also, let's go for 500 likes. That's right, I said 500. All right, so do it. Do it now, 500. And subscribe if you want the structured plan following, okay? And no guessing. Yeah, I know I'm yelling, but come on, people. This is worth it. And also, share this with one friend who always buys support too early. You know you have one of those guys. And before we get into the charts, let's talk about the macro because this is getting really wild here. A whale just bought $54.5 million of Bitcoin long with 40x leverage, 40 times leverage. The liquidation price is around $62,000. That's nuts. That means someone with deep pockets is betting aggressively that Bitcoin does not break much lower from here. Now, that is on top of this guy. Binance founder CZ is forecasting that Bitcoin reaches $500 to $1 million, Mr. Powers, in this cycle. $500,000 to $1 million, right? That's pretty nuts, don't you think, Franken? No, me don't believe this guy. You don't like CZ? No, me still don't like. You need to, make things up with him. I'm a dial. All right, enough of that. Now, let's talk about this because on top of all that, the narrative shift is becoming clearer. Bitcoin is undervalued, gold is overvalued. If capital starts rotating from the things like gold into Bitcoin, the money flow could be insane. This isn't just retail speculation anymore. This is high leverage positioning, institutional narratives, and massive cycle forecasts all aligning at key technical levels. And while macro hype meets technical compression, when that happens, usually you get range expansions. So this is not going to be a quiet market, people. Let's move along here and take a look at our first chart. On the weekly time frame, Bitcoin is coming back into the weekly bullish order block. This is a major demand area. We also have a key support at the $54,619 area. What makes this interesting, you ask? Well, the level previously aligned with the 50-period exponential moving average, right? Going back in time here. So here's my honest view. Do I think price simply respects this weekly bullish order block and goes straight up? Not really. No, not likely. Why? Because there's heavy sell-side liquidity sitting below. A lot of traders have placed their buy orders here, stops are stacked here, and liquidity in this area is pretty obvious. You don't want to keep your Captain Obvious hat on. So markets are drawn to obvious liquidity. So here's what I expect. A sweep below, consume the liquidity, absorb the orders, and then the move back upward, as you can see here by this illustration on the chart. Now, let's go into the Bitcoin today because this is very interesting. Now, in 2021, we saw two equal highs. We saw a lower high followed by a bearish flag, and then we saw the break into the support. But the key contrast here is back then, there was no real structural support below. Now, in 2025, right, more recently, we have that structural support, okay? So we do have the support below, and price is not just slicing right through it. It's being maintained. That's strength. Also, keep in mind, between 2024 and 2025, Bitcoin consolidated for nearly a year. That's where market participants agreed on value. That consolidation is not random, people. So you have to keep that in mind. And that's exactly where we're sitting. So this makes this zone far more meaningful than it was back in 2021. Now, before we continue to the 4-hour time frame, remember, all trades are tracked transparently on the Profits Precision platform. Every entry, exit, and every adjustment. And all these trades are shared in detail in the Telegram channel. If you're not in there, people, I don't know what you're waiting for, right? YouTube is where we give like the general view, but Telegram is where we have all the details and updates. Links are in the description. All right, so let's move along here and let's take a look at Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. Now, the price tapped into the 66,000, 65,000 support zone, and it's being maintained. Above us, we have liquidity at 71,000, and we have a supply zone around the $72,000 area. Okay, the red line that I put on this chart is key. If we break above this red line, then that signifies strength. Then the probability shifts toward the 71,000 liquidity area. If we fail here, then we rotate lower first. Okay, that's more likely. And this is a clean reaction-based decision point. All right, can't get any clearer than that. Let's move along here and let's go into the trade updates, because this is where we update all this stuff. Right, Ethereum, it touched the stop loss, but not at the full size. I reduced my position from 1% to 0.5%. Why? Because right after the entry, we got a bullish engulfing candle. Remember, this was a short. And that candle should not appear in a bearish consolidation setup, especially after a liquidity sweep, right? So that was my signal, reduced risk. So the result, 0.6% loss. Hey, that's the game. That's the way it works, right? If you can't handle that, open up an account at your local bank and get your whatever, right? As Michael Saylor will tell you, your interest payments. Anyway, so let's talk about Morpho, shall we? Because again, this is what you guys should be looking for. Morpho has tapped into the resistance and swept the buy-side liquidity. Now, I'm waiting for price to pull back into my entry zone. Here's what I want to see. Liquidity get consumed, then I want to see rejection, and I want to see a structural shift. It's all illustrated right here on this chart. You can see it by that white line. Then I go long, okay? No confirmation, then there's no entry. It's that simple. Let's move along to Solana here. Now, Solana is performing pretty well, right? It came very close to the profit objective, of course, but it likes to do this sort of thing. But you don't close early, right? That profit objective is at a bearish order block around the 79.08 level. Right now, I've marked 86 as a reaction level. If price breaks below and moves toward that bearish order block, then we secure roughly 2% profit on this trade. This is a clean, structured base setup. Now, real quick, let's talk about the trade challenge real quick, because I need to update you guys. So here, we have the Profits Precision platform, and let me just show you. So the current balance is $10,275. All right, the win rate is 40%. Profit factor 2.23. Now, I know what you guys are saying. This doesn't look pretty. 2 wins, 3 losses. But let me tell you something very clearly. You never judge this type of performance by 5 trades. You judge over 50, 100, 200 trades. And right now, we're simply taking the trades. AVNT, it reached the stop loss. Ethereum, we had to reduce risk, right, to control the loss. And Solana is still almost at its profit objective. So that's what it's like. This is what the real game is like, people. It's not perfect. It's about taking the trades, following the plan, and managing risk. And remember, all these trades are taken through the WeX platform, all right? So for fast trades, clear interface, and low slippage, that matters, especially in markets like this. And of course, everything is tracked on the Profits Precision platform. So use it. You get a lot of insight into your own trades. Now, people, this is what it's like when you take trades with structure, right? This is what it's like following your plan, and this is how you scale an account. So, quick recap. Bitcoin is inside the weekly bullish order block, as you can see, and liquidity below is still very attractive. The $54,619 level is the main support here that needs to be held. Now, 2021 to 2025 structure comparison. Let me just show you that real quick, because you need to see that. Hold on. Let me get you that chart. What? Let me show you. Okay, here it is. Well, there it is. Where is it? Hold on, people. There it is. All right, so the key contrast here is now we have support, right? And then going back to the Ethereum trade, we reduced some of the risk on that Ethereum trade, so we cut out some of that early. And then, Solana is still active, so we're waiting for that. And Morpho, of course, is one that we're tracking for the next trade, right? This is a compression phase, and compression often leads to expansion. Now, the next move is not going to be small. Now, people, if you are not in the Telegram channel, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that you missed this trade. I don't want to hear that you had no idea, because everything is in that channel, okay? So all you have to do is click on that description, and you'll see the thing in there, right? You'll see everything in there, because if Bitcoin sweeps the liquidity first, I'm going to take this position in real time. If it breaks structure, I'm also going to position in real time. And everything is in that Telegram channel. Just click on this link right here, and you're in there. Like I said, I don't want to hear any excuses, right? Now, we're constructing this account in real time, and if you're serious about the markets, I'll see you in there. All right, so people, stop watching from the sidelines, because the market is setting up for something big. Position with precision. I will see you in the next one.